Good evening and welcome to our continued coverage of what has been a remarkable day in the national capital. I'm joined by my colleague Maria Shakil, who's been battling it out all day today. But in a stunning turn of events, Delhi has seen a political upheaval with the BJP storming back to power, leaving the Aadmi party in utter disarray. The BJP has secured a simple majority with results of 48 seats compared to 22 for the Aadmi party. Arvind Kejriwal, who lost his seat, has conceded defeat in a video statement. This brings to an end the Aadmi party's 10-year reign in the capital.
And just few minutes back, Prime Minister Narendra Modi addressed the BJP workers at the party headquarters, sending a message that this victory is for Vikas, Vishwas, and also the other V, which is essentially believing in oneself. And he also set the tone and stage for the next big battle for the BJP, which is in the state of Bihar. Let's first listen in to what the Prime Minister said of what has been clearly history scripted by Mr. Modi himself.
साथियों, आज की ये ऐतिहासिक विजय है। ये सामान्य विजय नहीं है। दिल्ली के लोगों ने आपदा को बाहर कर दिया। एक दशक की आपदा से दिल्ली मुक्त हुई। आज दिल्ली में विकास, विजन और विश्वास की जीत हुई है। आज आडंबर, अराजकता, अहंकार और दिल्ली पर छाई आपदा की हार हुई। इस नतीजे में भाजपा के कार्यकर्ताओं की दिन रात की मेहनत, उनका परिश्रम ये विजय को चार चांद लगा देता।
Prime Minister Modi there explaining to the BJP workers the significance of this victory and how he sees this a stupendous victory for his party. Remember, the last time around BJP won was in 1993, and at that time they had won 49 seats. This time around it's 48, and the dry spell of power is coming back after 27 years. In the studios we have Professor Sandeep Shastri, Neerja Chaudhary, Rashid Kidwai, Amitabh Tiwari, who have been with us through the day analyzing every aspect of this result of Delhi. We also have Om Prakash Sharma, Vishwas Nagar candidate. In fact, he is the winner. So let's get a word from Mr. Sharma. Om Prakash ji, ये तो बहुत शानदार जीत रही है आपकी भी, सोचा था आपने?
निश्चित रूप से हमारे समर्थक वर्ग और कार्यकर्ताओं ने लगातार पूरी शक्ति लगाकर जो कार्य किया, उसने मुझे चौथी बार दिल्ली की विधानसभा में भेजा। इसके लिए मोदी जी की कल्याणकारी नीति और सभी कार्यकर्ता और समर्थक वर्ग का मैं धन्यवाद करता हूं।
ओम प्रकाश जी, एक सवाल, आप एक डायरेक्ट जवाब दीजिए, नया चीफ मिनिस्टर कौन बनेंगे?
जिसको पार्टी चाहेगी।
उनका नाम क्या है जी?
उनका नाम तो जब हम लोग बैठेंगे तब तय करेंगे।
तो ये एक टाइम फ्रेम दे दीजिए, अगर आप नाम नहीं दे पा रहे एक टाइम फ्रेम दे दीजिए, क्योंकि प्रधानमंत्री बाहर भी जा रहे हैं। ये एक हफ्ते बाद नाम पता चलेगा या शायद एक या 2 दिन के अंदर?
10 दिन के बाद आपको दिल्ली का मुख्यमंत्री मिलेगा। सब लोग मिलेंगे, बैठेंगे, मीटिंग करेंगे। हाँ। और मीटिंग करके सबकी राय से एक मुख्यमंत्री को चुनेंगे।
आज का दिन बहुत खास है पार्टी के लिए। लेट अरुण जेटली दिल्ली में पर्सनली बहुत इन्वॉल्व रहते थे दिल्ली की स्ट्रैटेजीज बनाने के लिए में। आप अरुण जी के साथ हमेशा दिखते थे।
जी।
आज के दिन आप क्या अरुण जी को याद कर रहे हैं?
मैं अरुण जी को नमस्कार घर पे उनके कराया हूँ। उनका आशीर्वाद सदैव मेरे साथ रहता है और उनके आशीर्वाद और उनकी कृपा और पार्टी का आशीर्वाद लगातार चौथी बार दिल्ली की विधानसभा में मैं पहुंचा हूं और इसका श्रेय यदि किसी को जाता है तो मेरी पार्टी और श्रीमान अरुण जेटली जी को जाता है।
All right, Om Prakash Sharma, thank you so much for joining us. We have another giant slayer joining us, Shikha Rai, who actually defeated Saurabh Bhardwaj. Shikha, कितना tough था ये battle?
नहीं, ऐसा कुछ टफ नहीं था, केवल बनाया जा रहा था. आई थिंक इट वाज ओनली अ परसेप्शन दैट वाज बीइंग क्रिएटेड. Otherwise, because I am a corporator from one of the wards of the constituency, I know very well as to what was done by the MLA and what was not done by the MLA, because many of the works I had to do regarding the Jal board and everything. So there was a total anti-incumbency in the area, and people wanted a change. That's what they have shown.
So Shikha ji, we have had our NDTV office in Greater Kailash till about 6 months back. Spent my entire lifetime virtually over there. So I can relate to issues of people in GK. Traffic is a real nightmare. Clean water is an issue. Congestion is an issue. And more than anything else, perhaps pollution, whether it's air pollution or water pollution. Can you give us some assurance that those issues will be fixed?
Definitely. That's in our manifesto also, and I think it was for the first time that a Prime Minister had to give a statement from a rally that water problem will be solved. I mean, it should not be so, but he had to, because it's such a huge problem in Delhi. So I think that would be the foremost thing that would be taken and will be done, in a short time.
All right, Shikha and OP Sharma, thank you so much for joining us right on the top of the broadcast. We also have Mahima Singh representing the Congress, Sunny Ahluwalia of the Aadmi party, and Rakesh Sinha, national spokesperson of the BJP, joins us as well. But Nirja Chaudhary, beginning with you, the big takeaways from Prime Minister's speech.
I think the big takeaway from the Prime Minister's speech was twofold. One, a reference to Yamuna Maiya. That
at the beginning, at the end.
And therefore, it means that hopefully that the BJP will give serious, concrete attention to cleaning up the Yamuna this time. And there will be an action plan forthcoming, since the Prime Minister has talked about.
How many times have we heard the words action plan?
I know, we have.
Yamuna?
I know.
Half our lives.
I know, half our lives. You are absolutely right. But this time, given the fact that they've got 2/3 majority in Delhi, given the fact that the Prime Minister is speaking about it, given the fact that Yamuna was a major issue in the poll narrative, as was the pollution in Delhi. So one hopes, I agree with you, I also have a sense of skepticism.
Yeah. So Vishnu, what we may actually see is some kind of thing that, like in Ahmedabad, that Sabarmati waterfront. So some kind of
some riverfront.
Riverfront, and a very beautiful one, picturesque one, a park and all those things. But these are all cosmetics things. You are a Delhi resident. The thing issue about air pollution or cleaning of Yamuna, it's not an easy thing. I'm not being on this. I'm not being overtly critical of this government, but what I'm saying is easier said than done. Yeah, and now that there is a the double engine ki sarkar, so there will be great Narendra Modi government and the new chief minister will be under pressure to deliver.
There's a burden of responsibility, but it's not that Prime Minister or the BJP is shying away from it. If his first reaction was that I will leave no stone unturned, those were his words, Amitabh Tiwari.
Yeah, essentially, of course, it's a burden of responsibility because it's a huge mandate.
Yes.
And Delhi is not in great shape because you have 3 forms of government. Now you have 2 forms of government with one party, MCD still with the Aadmi party. So we could see action moving between LG and the chief minister now to the state government and the MCD. That could also happen. See, essentially, it's Modi ki guarantee. He has given that guarantee of sorts to the people of Delhi. Personal guarantee that I will install a chief minister who will take care or who will implement the promises made in the Sankalp Patra. Now he will try to implement it. Of course, I mean, no government would not try to implement it. He might succeed to a certain extent and not succeed in some cases.
Sure.
But people look at the effort made. The effort made also. Even the central government has not been able to implement many things.
Ganga, there was a
many
promise
things.
when it came to pass.
But they have made substantial progress on a lot of issues, and that's why he has come back for a third
I
term.
just wanted to go across to Professor Shastri for a moment. If we actually take a look at the seat difference, it's huge in favor of the BJP, but the vote percentage is it's less than 2%. What does that signify?
That signifies three important things, Vishnu. First, the fact that the Congress party, which also increased its vote share, has cut into what possibly could have been the Aam Aadmi party vote and has allowed in important constituencies the BJP candidate to get a higher vote than the Aam Aadmi party. Secondly, this 1.9 is the difference between the BJP and the AAP.
Right.
Let's not forget that there were certain allies of the BJP as part of the NDA who also contested this election. So they also have a percentage of vote which is there.
JDU and LJP.
Yes.
3.5%.
And 3.5% is theirs. And third and last, we will need to look at the margin of victory of the BJP candidates in this election, because I believe a lot of them could be very small,
Right.
and that contributes to the vote share being less. The difference being less while the seat share being 48 to 22 as it is. So this is one of the typical vagaries of the first past the post system, that you will not have a difference in vote share, but it translates itself into seat share in a different way.
I don't think that's this 2.5% or 3, it's actually 3.5% gap. That's not a correct way to look at it. There is a 10% swing against the Aam Aadmi party. It has lost 10% vote share, and BJP and its allies have gained 7 to 8% vote share. Congress has gained 2%. So there is a swing of 20% against the Aam Aadmi party.
But that is the decider.
And that is the decider. I think, Amitabh, it's not that complicated. It is the same vote percentage that used to vote for BJP in Lok Sabha and would come back to vote for Assembly. There is a great Indian middle class. And that's where income tax comes in.
Yeah, so the great Indian middle class
Didn't go back.
didn't go back. No, perhaps they were thinking, but then they decided that post 1st of February they would rather stay in this side.
Okay, let's go across to Sunny Ahluwalia, spokesperson of the Aam Aadmi Party. Thank you very much for being with us. I realize that it's too early perhaps for you to decide what exactly went wrong. But there are those who say that the image that Arvind Kejriwal carefully cultivated over such a long period of time, the muffler man driving in a Wagon-R, coming out of the Ram Leela grounds, holding protests in the cold outside Rail Bhavan, that entirely disappeared the moment he got into this Sheesh Mahal controversy. Do you believe that the image of Kejriwal itself is perhaps the primary reason why you've lost?
So first of all, we congratulate Bharatiya Janata Party for winning over the capital and for winning over the Delhi. The important thing is that what went wrong with Aam Aadmi Party and what went right with Aam Aadmi Party, because if we see the difference of the percentage, it is far less. But yes, if you compare it with the last election, it is more. Okay, we agree to this. But the main problem, the main thing which we think which went wrong is either from our side or from the Bharatiya Janata Party. But what were our main agendas? We made Bharatiya Janata Party bring to our main agenda. They played on our pitch. We said that we work for social welfare schemes, and they agreed to it. And they even started the same social welfare scheme. And then we were against the polarization method of Bharatiya Janata Party in Delhi. In Delhi, they were very conscious about it, and they never used that kind of polarization which they used to do in other states. So we became successful in doing two of things for which we are in politics at least. We were successful in that. But yes, we have lost Delhi elections. We will intercept and we will then decide what went wrong and how the things can be improved for the Delhi. And definitely best of luck for Narendra Modi.
No, that's all very gracious, but the image of Arvind Kejriwal was my question.
That has taken a hit.
See, you depended on him. He was your one-man army in a sense, in terms of perception.
Definitely all the elections, not only in Delhi, in Gujarat, in Punjab, in Haryana, every election is fought on the name of Arvind Kejriwal. And Arvind Kejriwal is known for what?
Besides you losing the government, Kejriwal has lost. Manish Sisodia has lost.
That is the reason. That was the narrative set by the Bharatiya Janata Party, that they have done some scam and these kinds of things.
No, but
we never lost because of.
the fact is that you did not present the 14 CAG
We lost-
reports which had to be presented
we lost,
before the assembly.
madam, we lost because
You played on the
of-
same
we
pitch
lost because of wrong perception
you did the
created
same
by
thing
the
that Sheila
Bharatiya Janata
Dikshit
Party.
you did to Sheila Dikshit. BJP did to you. It's
No,
history
what-
repeating
what-
itself.
See, the reason for their win is not because, they just tainted our leaders. They have misused the Delhi police, they have misused the ED, they have misused the CBI. Not said by me, said by the Supreme Court Justice. And he said that misusing of CBI and NDA. But narrative they said about us, but it was far wrong, rather.
Well,
It was wrong.
elections
Why?
are
There
battles
was a
of
reason for
narratives,
it.
Mr. Ahluwalia, and if you've lost that
was a
battle of the narrative,
That was
it's
a wrong narrative
problematic.
set by them.
But let me ask you a direct question. Arvind Kejriwal losing these elections is huge, but Manish Sisodia has also lost these elections. Several other of your key leaders have lost. Saurabh Bhardwaj in GK has lost the elections as well. So many others. Atishi, of course, did win. But the fact that
can
your
you give me-
key leaders have lost, right?
Can
What
you
about
give-
leadership
can you give
within
me
your
any-
party?
Can you give me any example in which 4 of the main leaders have been jailed for 2 years? And that party
But
still
isn't that something which
still
you felt
managed
would
to
help you?
get, Still managed to get this much
Did
of
that not
percentage of
fuel
votes?
your?
Can you give me
Did
some
that
example, please?
sir? Did that
No,
not
no,
fuel
why-
your
why I'm
argument
asking you is
that you
why
have
am I
been
asking?
jailed and
There are
therefore
chances
you
that
have
they
been
were trying to
targeted? Now
split
you are saying that
Aam Aadmi
because you have
Party.
been jailed, you are not able to do well.
They were trying to split the party. They are only scared of Aam Aadmi Party. Bharatiya Janata Party, they may win from Delhi, but they are still scared of Aam Aadmi Party
Okay,
because
so Congress,
they know
so
that
they're not
these are the
scared of
people who
Congress
know
party.
how to
Then why
perform.
did the Congress party also join in this narrative setting against you? Perhaps
No,
Mahima
see,
will be able to answer.
this
Mahima,
is-
it perhaps is that Arvind Kejriwal was far more gracious in accepting or conceding defeat, and he gave reasons, and he said that he will be playing the role of a constructive opposition. But here is perhaps the party leaders are still trying to gather the what has hit them. It's a body blow for the Aam Aadmi Party. Let's be clear. I mean, for any party which is a startup, having been formed only 10 years ago, for them to revive from this point onwards will be very, very tough. Does the Congress then sense an opportunity in Delhi?
Jai Hind, Maria, the opportunity was seized by the Aam Aadmi Party, paving their way, through lies and bigotry 11 years ago. They came into existence with the aid of the Vivekanand Foundation, the RSS, and, the BJP was in the background. Now we know it's all out in the open. So when you talk about that narrative, I think I would not like to say any more on that. But yes, the results are worth pondering over. We are concerned, we are humbled and prompted at
But
once.
Mahima, I'm sorry to interrupt you, but you say you are humbled, but you were humbled last time and you were humbled the time before that also, where on all 3 occasions you scored a perfect 0.
It's a hat trick of
It's a hat trick just in terms of assembly and...
Just to add.
And the Lok Sabha elections.
No, but one second. Let her answer this question. So, in terms of a viable opposition, not just in Delhi, but certainly at the national level as well, after you've lost Haryana and Maharashtra and here, where does that leave the Congress?
Well, some very critical questions are facing the Election Commission of India today, Vishnu, that have been raised by the Honorable LOP, Shri Rahul Gandhi, yesterday through a press conference. And I think those questions are a matter of fact, as he has established very clearly. It is based upon data that has been released by the Election Commission of India. Number of voters in Maharashtra exceeds number of total adults in Maharashtra. Number of voters
You won't
registered
raise
in
any
the past
such question
5
in the
months.
context of Delhi
Allow me to
elections?
complete. Maria, you've asked me a question.
Nothing
Allow
to be
me
raised in the
complete.
context of Delhi elections? Same charge towards
One
election
minute.
commission?
1 minute. It's a case of a malfunctioning machinery, and so whether you put Haryana on it, whether you put Maharashtra or now Delhi, it's going to give you a false reading. It's a false reading because we are not addressing the issue at the core of it, which is a malfunctioning ECI at behest of the Bharatiya Janata Party. It died its very painful death when Ashok Lavasa was heckled and persecuted because he refused to give a clean check to Mr. Modi and Mr. Amit Shah. And that is what the brunt of that we are bearing today. When we see an election commissioner of India promises, no promises will be made regarding Delhi election in the budget this year. And then we see a full page Bharatiya Janata Party sponsored ad, Modi Sarkar ka Delhi ko uphaar, just 2 days ahead of the election when model code of conduct is in place. How do you answer that? Do you justify that, Maria and Vishnu? And I would be really appalled if you do, because the Election Commission of India seems to stand with that. They seem to not question that.
In fact, let's get a response to that.
An inordinate delay in Election Commission and unending delay.
I think you raised some important points. Nija, would you like to...
Or Rakesh Sinha should respond.
Would you like to, Nija, give some perspective on this? It is a fact that there were these full-page ads. The Congress has been raising serious questions on the role of the ECI. On the point of those full-page ads across papers, do you believe the Congress has a valid point?
I think this is something the EC has to take note of, even if the Congress is completely wrong. It is a national party, opposition party. It is full of disquiet on issues related to elections in Maharashtra. And I think the EC, I would have personally as a voter, liked to have had the EC look at it much more fully, because Caesar's wife has to be above suspicion. In a democracy, this is the case.
Rakeshji, would you like to come in on this? Because, you know, Mahima making some important points, saying that, look, the role of the Election Commission needs to be looked at, and she's listed many points, but the specific one was on those ads. Is that problematic, Mr. Sinha?
No, I think those parties who don't think in terms of the people's welfare and merely believe in propaganda and are not accepting the people's mandate are doing such things. I have three important points for the Delhi election. You know, the election was in Delhi, but it was awaited all over the country. The reason is not that Delhi is so important. The reason is that the person who was contesting election, Arvind Kejriwal, Aadmi party, he betrayed the people. He betrayed in many sense. He emerged out of people's movement. He was one of the persons for the first time in the post-independent India who not challenged the ruling party in the center. He challenged the entire system. He challenged the parliament. Thousands of people were in Ramlila ground when Parliament was discussing the issues at midnight. And this Arvind Kejriwal betrayed the entire things which he promised to the people. So it was the anger of the people that he sabotaged to the causes, he sabotaged to the Delhi's demand and expectation. Second important thing for Arvind Kejriwal is that he believed in propaganda. It was countered by BJP, Prime Minister Narendra Modi ji's the progressive measures for the people. You know, the several centrally sponsored programs now are on the ground. They are not on the papers, just like the Congress regime. The Prime Minister ensures that every program should reach to the people. And another thing which Nehru could have done after the independence, using the freedom fighters, which Prime Minister Narendra Modi ji has done, that he involved the party workers in the welfare programs. The party workers ensured that the government-sponsored schemes should reach to the common people. So
all right, Mahima had a point to make. Just very briefly, Mahima, before I bring in my other panelists. Rakeshji, half a second. Mahima, just quickly make your point. Yeah.
I just quickly want to, say in फैज के अंदाज में कहना चाहती हूँ कि हम देखेंगे, लाजिम है कि हम भी देखेंगे. जैसे गंगा साफ की है, ऐसे यमुना साफ करके दिखाएं. गंगा का स्कैम तो सबके सामने है ही. So the BJP spokesperson is making tall promises here, just like they've been made in their rallies. But you see, the BJP's track record is out for everybody to see. And when he's saying propaganda, well, propaganda equates to the Bharatiya Janata propaganda today, in this day and age.
Well, look, Mahima, I think in all fairness, if there have been promises made by the Prime Minister today, and what you're saying now, perhaps you can look at it maybe 3 years later and say they've not delivered. Let us all, we are all residents of Delhi, hope that there is clean water in that river and there is clean air to breathe as well. Let's see where that finally...
I have a question for Sunny Ahluwalia. Sunny Ahluwalia, did the Aam Aadmi Party indulge too much into fear-mongering? You changed, and one of the turning points which moved the election away from you, I would say, was that press conference that was done by Arvind Kejriwal, where he presented few bottles of water, saying that the neighbouring state of Haryana is actually poisoning that water. So for 10 years, you don't manage to give clean drinking water, and then you add to the fear of people by saying that the poison is coming from the outside. So you essentially came across as a party which was at constant loggerheads with the centre, with neighbouring states.
See, you tell me what is federal democracy? Or the BJP always say that double engine ki sarkar. Then today also Narendra Modi ji, the Prime Minister, said that for the first time in the history of India, the Bharatiya Janata Party has come in the NCR. He said so. What is the federal system? How the federal democracy will be alive in India? That the simple formula, if we listen to the Bharatiya Janata Party, and if I am trying to answer your question only, if there is a change in the political system, if the central government is of any party, suppose it is of Bharatiya Janata Party, then you can simply change all the chief ministers and give it to Bharatiya Janata Party only. So that if you want to kill the federal democratic system, if we say there's some problem coming from Haryana, or some problem coming from Uttar Pradesh, or some problem coming from the neighboring states, or some problem coming from the center as well, should we raise the voice or no? If yes, then why the Lieutenant Governor has more powers than the Chief Minister? And then they bring a new bill, and in that bill, you cannot even change the bureaucratic system. You cannot transfer anybody. You cannot do this. You cannot do that. The people of Delhi, I congratulate Bharatiya Janata Party. Okay, you have got the chance. Please do that. Please do that. So that we can also tell that, okay, they have done it. We will be motivated and we will be honored if they can do it. But at the same time, it is the duty of the center that they have to also take care of things from neighboring state also. It is not only the responsibility of one state, which is covered from three sides from the Bharatiya Janata Party. And if they are not going to help, if they are not going to, how the federal democracy will be live in this country? What will happen to the system? You change the democratic system to the dictatorship if you don't want to help the states. It is not only in Delhi, in any other state which is non-Bharatiya Janata Party, the same problem exists everywhere. Some may raise the voice, some may raise the voice, some other may not be.
Okay, I just wanted to, briefly look at the breakup of where the votes may have come for the BJP. Nija, if you can help me with this. Domiciles, or in other words, migrants, played a big role. According to some analysis, and obviously the Purvanchali vote important, some analysis suggests out of 6 Purvanchali candidates, 4-1. Out of 4 Haryanvi candidates, 12-1. Out of 3 from Uttarakhand, 2-1. So border areas, residents from these areas, obviously the BJP seems to have done very well there. Do you believe that's a
I think so, because the Prime Minister thanked the Purvanchali especially. So obviously the Purvanchalis have voted.
Their analysis,
Yeah, in their analysis, they have voted. And they went out of their way to woo the Purvanchalis, and almost 30% of the voter today in Delhi is Purvanchali. The character of Delhi has changed over the decades. It's not, I remember in the earlier years, it was people who came from, at the time of partition from Pakistan, the Punjabi Khatris who were here. They were the mainstay of the BJP.
It's a city of migrants.
Maria, and that is why...
Everybody is a migrant in Delhi virtually.
Yes. It's a city which welcomes everyone. Quite literally,
Maria,
the microcosm, as we say, of India, very representative.
And Maria, that is where I think it's a big, setback for the opposition, not only just for the Congress, because if there are so many people from, Uttar Pradesh and Bihar are in Delhi who are voting for BJP, then of course there is 6 months down the line or 8 months down the line, there is elections in Bihar. So that will have a huge repercussions. You see, the Congress is saying that they came to know that Aam Aadmi Party was the RSS creation. So 8 months ago they fought election with them in the Lok Sabha. And second thing is, Mahima ji, the very glaring, facts and figures are there. There is not one constituency that I could think of where Mahima ji, Congress has come second. In over 60 constituencies, Congress has forfeited, the deposit. This is a staggering figure. It should bother you. Not a word from, Mallikarjun Kharge ji, Priyanka Gandhi, Rahul Gandhi, or
nobody
anybody.
has spoken. None of the senior leaders.
Silence.
And why the silence?
And the war room, there was some celebration going on. I could not figure out what were they celebrating about. So these are the things that should concern the Congress and opposition.
Mahima, would you like to respond?
I would like to, and if, there's another couplet that comes to my mind here. Nawaz Dev Bandi says, Rashid Sahab, कि कम हिम्मती खतरा है समंदर के सफर में, तूफान को हम दोस्त खतरा नहीं कहते. You see, election after election, and especially Haryana, Maharashtra, and now Delhi, has got us thinking, and now we have got an eagle's eye, literally, an eagle's eye on the BJP's machinations, and we are going to nail it, like we have done for Maharashtra. Those are some statistics and data out there for everybody to decipher and ponder over. So you see, the best we can do today is put up a good fight with people's issues at the heart of it. And besides that, look at the BJP's machinations and demolish them. I think that's what we are doing today in a regime like this, where constitutional institutions are under threat, where ECI has been murdered and is now a wholly dead cow, where you see 95% of corruption cases are against. Sorry,
I just wanted to go across to Rakesh ji one more time. You know, I was going through some of the analysis and it says that out of 7 Jhuggi Jhopdi seats in Delhi, the BJP has won 4, Timarpur, Badli, New Delhi and RK Puram. But is this analysis by the BJP necessarily correct? Because it seems to suggest that, you know, that part of the electorate has come across to you, which is very important because that was scored to the Aam Aadmi Party, because in Delhi there are illegal colonies as well, there are unregulated colonies as well. So therefore there are colonies which also fall into socio-economically weaker categories. Is there any evidence to suggest that those from socio-economically weaker groups have also crossed over in this voting?
You know, Prime Minister Narendra Modi ji has concentrated on the marginalized people, and this phenomenon is not confined to one state but all over the country. That impacts the people. I said that there are 26 centrally sponsored schemes which are at the ground, and this benefited the most marginalized people. I am giving an example of the Aam Aadmi Party. The party spent 186 crore in 2022-23 on advertisements. When Supreme Court intervened, then this amount reduced to 26 crore in 2023-24. So your concern is just to make a propaganda that you are alternative. It is a psychologically diseased party. They were confined to a particular small state, but they thought that they would replace Prime Minister Modi ji. Second thing that what matters here, that Prime Minister has given the task to the workers, that micromanagement at the ground level. Those who say that BJP is mismanaging or using the election commission, they forget that this is the only party which has the workers at the ground. They are working 24 hours, 365 days, and these works are not for the election. The people during the COVID hours, it is the BJP workers at the ground, and the Prime Minister always motivated the workers. So people to people contact which developed. One very important thing that which Prime Minister made a reform in the party system by his action and deeds. That is that politics was based on chhatraps. That big leaders used to motivate, used to lead the party for decades and decades. That was dangerous for a democracy. Now Prime Minister's assurance to the people and hope he generated, that 1 lakh people he would like to motivate who don't have any political background. This is a very significant step. You go to the common people, those students who are in 10th class, 12th class and even BA and MA. So it is a pan-India impact of his not only the political agenda but economic agenda, but also his social concern. The Pariksha Pe Charcha, this is very important. The most busy Prime Minister, the most popular Prime Minister who has so many tasks, but he takes time for the school boys who are appearing the examination. All these are making significant impact and vitalize the voters.
Rakesh,
and this is making
as a point
transformation. Just I'm ending one sentence.
Yeah.
This is making a significant change in the voting behavior. Even the Muslim women, Muslims, and other people who are considered the vote bank of other parties are voting for the BJP.
All right. Rashid.
No, I'm just saying, Mr. Rakesh Sinha was mentioning about Pariksha Pe Charcha, the Prime Minister giving, tips. Has it improved, the pass percentage nationally or in any region? Do you have this? So how is it relevant to the elections of Delhi?
And where was the Prime Minister when the NEET scandal happened, when the NEET scam happened right after the Lok Sabha results?
I think we should put the spotlight back on the elections. I'll move away from Mr. Sinha and ask Amitabh Tiwari now. Amitabh Tiwari, 48-22, we are ending the day with BJP double the number of seats than the Aam Aadmi Party, the nearest rival. But Aam Aadmi Party is not really decimated. What it had in 2015, it managed to bring the BJP down to single-digit numbers, 2015, 2020. So at 22 seats, where does it take the Aam Aadmi Party?
See, because it still has almost 43-44% vote share. The problem, however, is that if the Aam Aadmi Party dissipates from here or weakens further, because there will be now a new leader of opposition, there are calls within the Aam Aadmi, Atishi, Gopal Rai, we don't know. There are calls even within the Aam Aadmi Party as to for change of leadership. Swati Maliwal has asked that already. She's still in AAP, correct? Somebody has to take responsibility for the loss. Then there are repercussions on the Punjab government also. There are elections in 2027. So there is a lot at stake for Aam Aadmi Party here. And out of this 44% vote, again, a significant portion is borrowed vote of the Congress party and the BJP still. Sure. So if it weakens further, this vote share will go back to the Congress party or to the BJP from where it has come.
So are you then sensing, Professor Shastri, that this election perhaps will give that window of opportunity for the Congress? There is the space for the Congress has opened up.
I think the window of opportunity for the Congress has been there for a long time, right from 2010 onwards. But that window appears to have been shut, and I don't know whether it will be opened. Yes, I think the opposition space in Delhi is very much there. Aam Aadmi Party will emerge as the formal opposition within the assembly. Will the Congress use this opportunity to play the role of an opposition outside the assembly and take it to the politics of protest at the street? I don't know. Right. Now, I think experience has shown that it has not happened. I don't know if this would be that final wake-up call for that to happen.
All right. Look, I'd like to thank all of you very much for joining us. We'd have a couple of important interviews coming up in the next couple of minutes, but I think it's interesting to listen in to what the Prime Minister also had to say when he addressed BJP workers, in fact the country at large, on this incredible win of the BJP in the national capital.
मैं आज वरिष्ठ महानुभाव श्रीमान अन्ना हजारे जी का बयान सुन रहा था। अन्ना हजारे जी काफी समय से इन आपदा वालों के कुकर्मों की पीड़ा झेल रहे थे। आज उन्हें भी उस पीड़ा से मुक्ति मिली होगी। जिस पार्टी का जन्म ही भ्रष्टाचार के विरुद्ध हुए आंदोलन से हुआ हो, वही भ्रष्टाचार में लिप्त हो गई। मैं गारंटी दे रहा हूं, पहले विधानसभा सत्र में ही सीएजी की रिपोर्ट सदन में रखी जाएगी। आज जनता ने फिर एक बार कांग्रेस को कड़ा संदेश दिया है। दिल्ली के चुनाव में कांग्रेस ने 0 की डबल हैट्रिक लगाई है। देश की राजधानी में देश की सबसे पुरानी पार्टी का लगातार दिल्ली में 6 बार से खाता नहीं खुल रहा है।